come on forward. There are multiple seats here. Because you're coming in late, you want to give me a chance to sit next to the provost. Please, come on forward. Welcome back. I'm so delighted to see you all. I hope you all have a wonderful summer break. The fall semester is coming right away. So I certainly have a lot to say to welcome you back, but I think our provost would say that way better than I can. I'm sure she will say it without much accent, so you will understand. So without further ado, I'm going to have our provost come to address all first. Welcome.
Oh, there it goes. All right, happy to be here. This is, I think, my third, is it working, not working? It's coming in and out. I can go into faculty mode.
I think it works.
It seems to be cutting in and out, but I'm loud enough. I can pretend that I'm teaching. In fact, this is 20 years ago, the lecture hall of my very first class at OSU, so I'm excited to be back. I never thought it'd be 20 years, and I got to tell you, 20 years ago, I had no idea I'd be standing here and not teaching, but standing here and talking to you all. I thought that's all I wanted to do. I loved being a faculty member. It's the #1 lens that I still have, so if you ever talk to me, I still always think about being a faculty member. It's who I am to my core. It's why I feel like I can connect so well to our faculty and staff and students, because I never forget what we're here for, and we're here for the students. As a first-generation college student, I love this university. I'm from California, so I'm not from Oklahoma, but 20 years later, still making my career here, raising my family, and loving everything that we're doing here because it means so much. We're changing the lives of our students. And speaking of our students, if you have not seen the town, it is crowded. We have said every year it's record enrollment. This is a big jump for us this year. We will go over 5,000 freshmen this year. We're well ahead of our strategy where we said 5,000 was the goal, but we said that was the goal for 3 years from now. So we're very excited. While other universities, especially in the Big 12, are telling us they are down in enrollment, we had over nearly a 300%, well actually I think we're going to settle around 350 new freshmen this year compared to last year. So this is an amazing place to be in. It does mean your classes are going to be full. It does mean we probably asked you to add some sections. It does mean that Walmart's going to be very, very crowded for the next couple weeks. But we're super excited. If you've been walking around, they're moving in, they're excited. I'm watching everything unfold and be on social media, and I'm just so excited with their level of excitement. So it feels like the summer had just started, and here we are starting fall, but I'm really excited. And I don't want to take too much. I know you have a long day, but what I really want to say is thank you. Thank you for all you're doing. We could not be welcoming this record class, record enrollment, record retention without everything you guys are doing. So I'm so excited to be partnering with you. I'm excited for the direction of this college and this university, and I'm happy to answer any questions. But again, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Any questions? All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, as you heard from the provost, our freshman enrollment is going up, so we are here for our students. So the first presentation is going to be by our student council chair. Is the council, please come on forward. You can also use the microphone.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So, my name is Ann Shea. I am the CEAT Student Council President this year. I am currently a mechanical and aerospace engineering going into my senior year. So I'll go ahead and get started. So a big thing that we do is we kind of serve as the liaison between you guys and also the students of CEAT. And to do that, we kind of organize various events throughout the school year. We'll talk about a few of those later. Any student concerns that get brought up that faculty could help with, those get brought to you guys via me or like other council members. We also provide funding for CEAT organizations. That funding is coming directly from student council. That doesn't go through like SGA or stuff like that. That's a completely separate thing that our organizations can also get money for. We just as a student council are also able to provide a significant amount of funding. And on top of that, we're also providing certain scholarships, usually in the spring, for our CEAT students. So a couple ways that you guys can help, just general ways, is just helping to spread the word about involvement. Our applications for general members and for freshman council, those will open pretty much the first day of classes. And we would really love to see a lot of involvement from students because obviously everyone has a different perspective, and the more perspectives we have, the better we can help the student body. And also just encouraging involvement in our events. So like I said, student council, we host a lot of events throughout the school year, and it is really great when we have a really good turnout. It's kind of depressing when you host an event and like 3 people show up, right? It doesn't really foster student spirit if we do that. So if you know of any events that we're hosting, please just let your students know about them. And of course, just staying in touch with us, with your students. Just let us know if there's anyone that you're potentially worried about that you think that we could help with, or if you have just any ideas on better ways that we can connect you guys with them. So here's kind of just an overview of our current leadership team. So these are our exec members. Any of us would be more than happy to answer questions. Not pictured on this slide or the next slide is our amazing advisor, Lance Millis, who's sitting back there. We definitely couldn't do this without him, so thank you, Lance. So our executive positions, like we've got our general one, so president. Our VP of committees is basically like our VP of the organization. VP of finance, pretty straightforward. VP of communications basically just sends out all of our communication to the council members and also our club representatives that attend our meetings. We'll talk about VP of relations in a little bit when we get to the relations committee. VP of publications is basically our marketing head. So she does a lot of our flyers. If we need like any marketing things, so banners, t-shirts, she's the one to handle that. And then CFC is our freshman council. So we have 2 coordinators for that that obviously are not freshmen. And they basically just guide the freshmen through the process. And our secretary, pretty straightforward. We also have our leadership positions. So that's mostly our committee heads. So we'll talk about our committees in a little bit, but basically the way student council's general members interact with the council is we split them up into multiple committees to just kind of help us broaden our horizons and help us host events more efficiently. So that's kind of where all of these fall in. Our new member coordinator, so if you're trying to get people involved in STUCO, he is probably our best person to contact at this point in time. He basically handles all of the incoming students, basically, whether that be freshmen or just like sophomores or seniors or grad students that want to get involved. He's the one that will be sending out email communication, stuff like that. And our club rep coordinator handles all of our club representatives, so for CEAT organizations. So, like I said, we split our general council into various committees. First one we're going to talk about is a little bit different from the others. This one is Cheap Lunch. So as I'm sure most of you know, we host Cheap Lunch every Thursday. This year it'll start on the 29th. We're going to be doing it starting at 12 instead of 11:30 this year, just kind of help accommodate those students that have classes ending at 11:45. And normally we're doing Cane's or Papa John's. If it's not a sponsored Cheap Lunch, we just offer it at a really cheap price to students. And if it is sponsored, then the company that is sponsoring will help pay for the food, and then they'll also have a table there where they can talk to students. So if you know of any companies that would potentially want to sponsor, please just contact us. We have a Cheap Lunch specific email, that's cheaplunch@okstate.edu. And then just let your students know, especially if they're freshmen who don't know about this event already, just to let them know that this is something that we do and it is there to help the students prep. Our next committee is the Philanthropy Committee. This one is headed up by Holland Carter. So it's pretty straightforward, kind of the purpose of it. It's focused on service. So members in this committee, they're helping to run various events in OSU and also just service events around the college. We will have a blood drive in October, and we'll also have another one in the spring, and also a canned food drive that is normally linked to homecoming. And as we all know, homecoming is a very big event around here. So Philanthropy also hosts our Pie in the Face event, where we're fundraising for various different charities. And then we'll also have Into the Streets, where members just basically go help out around the community. And Angel Tree, or occasionally we'll call it Angle Tree, because that sounds about right. And so you'll see that white Christmas tree out in probably the ATRC SEC, where you can basically buy a present for a kid that's in need, and it'll have like the name and kind of stuff like that on it. And then just like with all the other ones, just help out if you can. Like if you know of events and stuff that we can do to help better our OSU community or the Stillwater community, let us know. Next up is K-12. So also pretty straightforward. Our K-12 committee is headed up by Connor, and basically our main things with the K-12 group is outreach. So whether that be actually sending students out to schools and having them give presentations, or, and this started once we had COVID, basically just getting events set up for students that we could send out to various schools, and that's also helped broaden our outreach a little bit to outside of just the Stillwater area. And so in the past we've done Q&A panels, obviously in person, and also those STEM activities. So if you have ideas on any activities that are kid-friendly that we could do, whether that be for like kindergarten through 12th grade, like we're going for all ages here, just let us know. And then if you've got any like events and stuff that you know of that need volunteers, also letting us know, that would be great. Next up is special projects. So this one basically just any unique event kind of gets thrown their way. So this last CEAT career fair, we had what we called the Spiffy Station. That was brand new, and basically just provided some items for students so they could freshen up before they went to go talk to companies. And that's something I believe we plan on doing. And so just any random events that don't really fall under certain categories kind of falls under the special projects group. So if you have ideas of new events, this is kind of probably where they would fall. We do have a feminine hygiene product drive going. We started that last year. It's currently only stocked in the ATRC. So if possible, just helping us out with that so that we can get it stocked in more engineering buildings. And like I said, with all the other ones, just participating at various events. The Spirit Committee, basically just anything that has to do with Go Pokes, right? Our big event in the fall, that's going to be homecoming. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. So like our banner that CEAT will put up, any decorations, Harvest Carnival, all of that, that'll be under our Spirit Committee. And really, our main hope with the Spirit Committee is just boosting like student morale. So outside of homecoming, we've also got just various events. Some of those are trivia night. We usually do, I think, one of those a semester. And the CEAT week will actually be in the spring. Next up, we have relations. So unlike some of the other committees we've talked about, the Relations Committee is headed up by the VP of Relations, so she is on the executive board, but she's still basically doing the same things where she's helping to organize events. And our big events for Relations Committee is going to be the CEAT Organization Fair, which will actually happen, I believe, the first Thursday. I believe it's on the 22nd. And that'll be in Engineering South. So just let your students know about that event, and we'll have various different organizations from CEAT, so that's your competition teams, your major specific, any of those are all going to be there. And then we'll also have senior social. So that is the day before career fair, and that is obviously geared towards graduating students, whether they graduate in the fall or graduate in May, just to get them a head start into talking to companies. And then just encourage students to attend these events. Okay. So before I start talking about Freshman Council, we do have two other committees that aren't up here. One of them is the Marketing Committee. They don't really host events since they're more of a support role for our other committees, getting all of those t-shirt designs, flyers, banners, all of that stuff ordered and sent out to where they need to be. And we also have the Policy Committee, which is made up of not general members, but our VP of Finance, our Policy Committee head, and then our CEAT senators. And so our CEAT senators are the ones that kind of serve as the go-between between us and SGA. And like marketing, they don't really have any events, but they just kind of keep us informed of things that are happening around the university. CEAT Freshman Council is kind of a branch off of CEAT Student Council. It is only made up of freshmen with the exception of our two coordinators, Emma and Tariq. And basically, it's just kind of to get them involved early on. Applications for this will also open first day of school. So if you are teaching any freshman classes, just let them know about that. Obviously, they're attending all of our events, helping out with all of our events. Each freshman is put into a general council committee, just like general council members would be. And then on top of that, the freshmen are the ones that design our homecoming sign that goes on library lawn. They also volunteer at the career fair and are given SNAP card duties throughout the day, so they're the ones that are feeding the employers, keeping them happy, all of that, good things. And we also give professional development day so that we can kind of get them prepared. And their big event is E-Day, which is basically their outreach event to high schoolers. I don't believe that happens this semester, but that is generally like what they're gearing up towards, and it happens in the spring. So, like I said, if you teach or interact with freshmen, and it would be great if you would let them know about this, and then also if you need a flyer or a QR code or anything, just feel free to reach out and we can get that to you. So, our biggest event of the semester is the CEAT Career Fair, and that is run by Student Council, and it is our source of revenue for the council. So this is how we are able to fund those scholarships, fund those clubs directly through us. This is why we don't have to only rely on SGA funding and all of that. So we have two career fair coordinators. They are both sophomores this year, Xander and Christian. You can kind of see what they wanted to tell you all up there. So this year's career fair will be September 17th. It is in Gallagher, Iowa, like it always is. Our estimated number of companies that we can have at capacity is 250. And so pretty much big things is we just want as many students there as possible. We've done a lot of work to get a variety of companies in at this career fair to make sure there's someone for everyone. And then if you have any connections with companies that might be interested, that might not know about this event, let us know. And something that Xander and Christian requested is that we will need about 6 faculty members to drive shuttles a day of to get employers in and out. They're especially looking for those with precision driver training certification. So if you're interested or are able to help that day, please let us know. So that is all I have. I speak on behalf of the entire council and I say thank you for everything that you guys do to just make this a successful learning environment, and we look forward to serving you guys. So if you have any questions, you can contact us at ceatstuco@okstate.edu. And I have access to that email. I get notifications about it, so I will respond pretty much immediately, probably. But feel free to let us know if there's anything we can do to help you guys, or if you guys have ideas for how we can help you guys or the students. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Ann?
I have a question about our online undergraduate students. We now have degree programs that have online students. How can they become involved in STUCO?
Yes, so if they're in the area, obviously like the events and stuff, those are all pretty much open to all students. And if they're able to attend bi-weekly meetings, so it's every other Thursday, then they're more than welcome to apply to join. If they're a little further out, it would probably be a little more difficult, but we do have, like, we're putting together resources and stuff for students, so those would all be posted to our Instagram page, which is just CEAT STUCO, or at CEAT STUCO, and also like our website is currently being updated, but just knowing about things that way, and if they're in the area, just being able to join.
Thank you.
I guess you can offer virtual lunch to the.
That would be a little difficult.
Thank you. I know you said you look forward to serving CEAT and working with HERS. I also want you to convey to the student population, we, the faculty staff, are here to support you for success. Certainly, the faculty council chair could tell you a bit more about how we support you, how we advance the college. You ready?
Yes, we are ready.
The floor is yours.
Well, I'm Jim Yerbick. I work for CEAT Online, and we're in 101, Engineering North, for any assistance with your technology in your classrooms, and that's what we do. Thanks for being here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Testing, testing? No? 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 Okay. We'll give that another break. So, my name is Nathan Richardson. I'm a professor of architecture, and I'm the incoming chair of the Faculty Advisory Council. Last year, I served as the vice chair alongside Brian Hoskins, and he's rotating off the council as he's completing or has completed his second 3-year term. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about the CEAT Faculty Advisory Council. We were formalized about 9 years ago, and we operate under a set of bylaws that you can find in the policies and procedures on the college website. And I want to cover a few of those things today, just to let you know a little bit more about what we do and how we operate. So this is a snapshot from our mission, and we're here to assist in the improvement of all the college's activities, research, teaching, outreach, and extension by serving as a mechanism that represents faculty voices primarily. And I've emphasized a few things here. One is we are charged with finding ways to improve many of the things that we do here at the college, and our primary charge is to serve the faculty and represent faculty interests. But we also function in a bi-directional capacity. So we're bringing ideas and interests to the CEAT Executive Committee from the faculty. We're also bringing things that we learn from the Executive Committee back to the faculty. There are two primary ways that we do this. One is we hold monthly meetings as a Faculty Advisory Council. And second, we attend the monthly CEAT Executive Committee meetings. And this allows us to represent faculty interests and also understand the status and ongoing work of the executive committee. I want to point to a few details on our structure. We're composed of one member from each department. So we have 9 faculty representatives, and our members are elected for 3-year terms, and you can serve a maximum of 2 3-year terms. When we were set up, the positions were staggered so that no more than 1/3 of the faculty council rotates off or is up for re-election in a given year. So I've got a few things I'd like you to know and ways that you can help us. This year, we're expecting to hold elections for 2 departments, engineering technology and civil and environmental engineering. So if you're in one of those 2 departments, be looking for an announcement. We're interested in self-nominations and nominations of others for faculty members in your department that you think could well represent your department's interests. Because we're in a time of transition, some members are rotating off, others are rotating on. I'm not going to provide you with a complete list of the representatives today, but we will post and share those in the next few weeks as we run elections for those 2 departments that will have incoming representatives. As always, I want you to communicate with your representatives, and for now, feel free to reach out to me if you have any comments, questions, or recommendations. Again, our primary responsibility is to represent faculty perspectives in the ongoing administration of the college, and we want to do that well. So let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nathan, thank you for your leadership. Before you go, any questions for Nathan? Those in the back, you can hear me, right? I'll let this go. No question? Okay, once again, thank you for your leadership. Well, we have our student leader presenting, the faculty council leader presenting. The next is our staff council chair, Sam. Here, floor is yours.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, my name is Sam Morse. I am the chair of the Staff Advisory Council. That's just what my name is. I was not named after the inventor of Morse code, just a happy accident. I am a data analyst at Institutional Research and Analytics, but here I'm here today to talk to you a little bit in my capacity as the chair of Staff Advisory Council. So, Staff Advisory Council, if you're unfamiliar, is an elected and appointed body of 27 people. Every year, at least 9 seats go up for election, and it's cross-campus. So we have members from all throughout departments, and the idea is that this group of people is here to advocate for the concerns and needs of staff members. That can be everything from potential HR policy changes to just what's going on in the community that we need to be talking about. But we're also there to make sure that staff are being celebrated because we have phenomenal employees across campus that are doing incredible things that most of us don't get to see. Some of our most outstanding contributors at Oklahoma State University are pretty quiet. And so what we try to do is give avenues to hold these people up, to make sure that people know what they do, as well as make sure they get the recognition that they deserve. So these are our kind of pillars of advocating for staff and their concerns and giving back to staff where we can through recognition, through celebration, and resources wherever possible. We do that with a team of, obviously we have our larger council, but then we have an executive team. So you have myself, and then our most recent chair, who is, I believe, in the room right over there, Michelle Stewart. We have our vice chair, who's over with me in IRA, Kimberly Mites. We have our treasurer, Molly Battershell, who's also somewhere in the room. There we go. And our secretary, Sam Seipert. You will occasionally, if ever you ask to go to a meeting, you will get meeting invitations. Those go to the collective Sams. I'm Sam M, him Sam C, but we refer to ourselves as a unit. So this team is kind of our lead on issues when we are in discussions. So the whole council is involved in activities, but if we're going to have a conversation with HR or anything, these are going to be the people that are in that. And we've put ourselves forward to be funnels for conversation. So if people see us in the community, we're happy to talk. If you have concerns, we're happy to be the focal points, although any SAC member is going to be a great place to start to have that conversation if you have something that you want to learn a little bit more about. Our council is broken down into several committees, and each of these is kind of focused on a different one of our core functions as far as everyday activities. So first up is Access, Community, and Engagement. This committee has perhaps the most broad and vague description because they do the most specific things in a variety of categories. And the reason for that is that what they stand for at their core is making sure that staff have access to the things that they need to do and make sure that our community is as welcoming as possible. And that can take place in ways that you don't always expect. One of their biggest projects involved using basically latitude and longitude coordinates and walking the entire campus to map out every bathroom on campus, find which ones have diaper stations, where are our lactation rooms, so that staff can find it, so that that'll be on the university map services, so that if somebody needs a bathroom, if somebody needs a diaper changing station, that's available for the staff that need it. We are also looking at having, oh, thank you, it's a great, Kimberly, my team, it's a big app on our phones, and we're continuing to work on that, and we want to flesh that out in the future. Another big project is we are slowly working on rolling out something that's going to be for caregivers. So basically a list of resources across campus, creating a page that takes things that are disaggregated across campus and putting it in one place for staff. And so that's kind of the idea. There are incredible resources across campus, and a lot of people have no idea where to look for them. And so this committee looks at making sure that they are there, bringing up the issues, seeing if we need to make a change if they don't exist, and if they do exist, how do we make sure people know how to use it? Because a benefit isn't a benefit if you don't know how to use it. And so the idea there is they are all about making the most out of what we have and having as vibrant of a community as possible, and setting up our staff members and our community as a whole for success. The Awards and Recognition Committee is all about celebrating our staff members, and they do so through a variety of ways. You will hear pretty soon about the Distinguished Service Awards, which are kind of our big awards. These are the awards that come with prizes, as well as we actually have runners-up for these. There's an interview process, and I'll talk a little bit more about those in detail in a little bit. But then they also handle things like our scholarships. So we have scholarships for staff members that are continuing their education, and we really want to empower staff to continue to grow and succeed in their fields. The next one is communications, and these people handle our website, they handle our social media, our monthly newsletter, and those are no small tasks. For any staff members, our SAC newsletter goes out once a month. If you have managed to accidentally remove yourself from our SAC newsletter, just let us know and we will get you back on. You can email our Staff Advisory Council email. I'll have that on the screen shortly if you need it. The core idea behind that newsletter is, one, to let you know what we're up to provide any notes about, say, benefits that are coming up, conversations from HR, anything that people send us that they want to make sure staff know about will be in that monthly newsletter. And so that's going to be a key point of communication and a key way to hear what we're up to at a given time. The Events Committee, no surprise, does our events. They are our team that puts together things like our Staff Celebration Day, which is an annual celebration where we really roll out the orange carpet for our staff and try to put on as big of a festivity as possible. They also do some smaller things that I think people forget about sometimes. We have a lot of unsung heroes when it comes to the university. So we'll have people in a variety of departments that don't tend to be the places we think to send our thank yous. And so what they will do is have events that we've called things like SAT Gives Back, but the core idea is that they will buy popsicles, buy snacks, and just take time to go hang out in the core areas of that department and make sure that those people understand that people have noticed that they're incredible. That sometimes there are thankless jobs and we want to fix that part. And so they do both our events big and small, and they're going to be kind of the ones that you probably see the most clearly across campus. Rules, policies, and procedures, those are our nitty-gritty folks. Those are going to be our people. They handle our internal parliamentary processes or elections, but more importantly, they are also in charge of our policy reviews with HR. So every once in a while, HR will send us a policy that we will review. Ourselves and faculty council typically get them to review. We will go through and then have meetings if we have questions, if we need language massaged, if we have worries. We'll walk through it and then put through recommendations as necessary. And so they're kind of a key component. And if you bring me a question, for example, if you have a concern on campus and bring it my way, I will work with you to develop it into like a series of bullet points, make sure that I understand what you want, where we can move forward, what's potentially actionable, and then I'll pivot it to the rules, policies, and procedures team so that they can actually go find the OSU policy that's applicable and figure out if we can change something, where are the knobs and levers that we need to pull to actually make these things happen. So with that kind of broad overview, I want to talk about some of our specifics. The first is Staff Celebration Day. And Staff Celebration Day is huge. It's typically held in May, and the goal of Staff Celebration Day is to bring as many staff members together. We usually get around 1,000 people at a given time. In previous years, it's been in Boone Pickens Stadium. This past year, it was in West Watkins. And the idea is that we get food catered, provide a lunch, have a variety of activities, maybe games, we have raffles and giveaways. We always try to have a way for if there's a staff that can't leave their office at that time, to have a way to get meals to them, potentially having somebody from the office come pick them up. We do our best to make sure that this is an opportunity for staff to see that there are people at OSU that care, that they are being taken care of, care that they are doing incredible jobs, and this is our way of catching as many staff as possible and thanking them in person, and making sure that they see that we see how incredible they are. The next big one, because it's coming up, is Distinguished Service Awards. Nominations are going to open up relatively soon, I expect sometime in September. The Distinguished Service Awards are a bit of a process when it comes to getting somebody nominated, but they are a big deal. The idea is that these are people that have made a tremendous impact in their area, that have given back to staff, to students, OSU as a whole in some way. There isn't one narrative that we are looking for. We are looking for people that have made unique impacts across their entire community. And the way that we search for that is that we have them, essentially, if somebody would like to be nominated, or you would like to nominate somebody, we get 3 letters of recommendation. They can be from staff, faculty, or students, and they are just submitted. So keep an eye on the newsletter as well as potential other communications. We tend to also put A-frames out to get nominations as well. And be thinking of who makes an incredible impact on your campus, because we can't have too many applicants, because there are incredible staff and we don't know to celebrate them if we don't know about them. So be thinking about who's incredible in your areas, maybe be thinking of 3 people that would be good writers for recommendations, and then once we have top few candidates, we start doing interviews, and then we'll invite everybody relevant from departments and the like to celebrate those people that make it into the Distinguished Service Awards. So keep an eye out, that's coming up soon, and I will have links later on as well. Now, this next one is called the OSU Stars, And these are awards where we recognize people on a monthly basis in our newsletter. They also receive a certificate and a small gift. And the idea is that these are ways of recognizing people that are incredible just month to month. These are our way of like letting one person submit a short recommendation that says, hey, I noticed this person do something amazing this past month. I want to make sure that they're noted for it. And then we select 10 to 15 OSU stars each month, and they are celebrated in our monthly newsletter, as well as we've been reading them aloud in our monthly meetings. So let's talk about how to get involved. First things first is our spring elections. Typically in kind of the March, April area is when we're going to start taking nominations, and then the actual elections happen a little bit later. And there's always going to be at least 9 seats voted on, but occasionally we will have more. Candidates are nominated, so you can either nominate a colleague or you can nominate yourself. And we will again be communicating that via the newsletter and separate communications to everybody on that list. That is basically a great way to, if you want to make sure your area is represented, figure out who's going to be a good voice, who's going to be willing to sit at the table, have those conversations, be a good fit for one of those committees, and advocate for their area in one way or another. We also have vacancy appointments. So if you want to be involved sooner, vacancy appointments is basically a way for us to fill in spots if they open. It happens from time to time, and we keep a running list of candidates that have filled the vacancy appointment request form, and then we go through. The Rules, Policies, and Procedures Committee assembles a list for me to look at, and then we select based off of our needs and who we think is going to be a great advocate for our staff at that time, and they will step in for one of our empty seats. Can't necessarily predict when those are going to open, but you stay on that list for as long as necessary until the next voting cycle, at which point we'll say, would you like to turn this into a actual election nomination? Some other opportunities is keep an eye out for our various events, so the Distinguished Service Awards, nominations for the Star Awards, keep an eye out for like our actually going to the ceremonies. The ceremonies for the DSAs is actually going to be this fall. So in addition to nominating people, we'd love for people to be at the celebration itself to show your support to your fellow staff members and OSU community members. And then also let us know. I try to keep my ear to the ground as much as possible when it comes to advocating for the needs of staff. But I am one person in one corner of campus. And so part of the reason why I stepped up into this role is that I want people to know that they can come to me and I will take their concerns as seriously as possible so that we can see what changes can be made if possible, or what can we do to make sure that needs are being met wherever possible. Change can always happen quick, but we can at least lend an ear and explain where the community is, where things are, and what steps can be taken in the future. So always feel free to reach out to one of us to see, to have those conversations, to understand more about SAC, or to bring us your concerns. We're always happy to chat. And also, you can attend one of our monthly meetings. We have a link on our website where you can actually request a link if you want to attend virtually, or you can actually attend physically. So here's some key links, and if you do not want to have to write all of these down, feel free to email us at staff.advisory.council@okstate.edu, or my own personal, which is smorse. It'll be up at the very end. And I will give you these slides so that you can just link them directly to whoever might need whatever part. So we've got all of the awards. So the awards will have DSAs and Star Awards, your vacancy request. That'll also be in the same general areas where you'll find the actual nominations in the spring. And then there's the link to requesting a meeting as well. All right. Well, thank you very much for giving me this time to talk about our organization. I'm always excited to serve you in the best way possible. So if you ever need me, feel free to email me directly at smorse@okstate.edu or staff.advisory.council@okstate.edu. And I'm always happy to hear from you, be it a concern or be you just want to chat. So thank y'all.
Any questions for the Staff Council Chair, Sam? Anyone? Okay, you present.
So, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing for the staff.
Of course. I appreciate hearing that. Thank you.
Okay, if no one else, thank you again. Okay, now we're coming to the State of the College report. But before going into the report, let me make sure I thank our people for really making this possible. There are two groups of people. One, for this presentation to happen, Erin, Christy, Savannah really have been working very hard in setting up the presentations and getting my PowerPoint ready. Thank you very much. And also, in getting the slides together, Carissa, Chuck, and Ed team have really provided input. Valerie, Jean, and also Amanda have helped tremendously. In particular, Valerie spent a lot of time. She became my technical assistant in this case, in getting the Excel, getting the PowerPoint ready. So Valerie, where are you? Thank you. So that's the presentation. The work is really done by you all. So in particular, I wanted to thank our faculty, our staff, and also our students for having done all this wonderful work. So thank you very, very much. I do want to say the college leadership team, the associate deans, the finance director, and also school heads have been tremendous help. So thank you. I wanted to take a moment to recognize and thank Paul Tchaikovsky and also John Venstra for their leadership. Is Paul in the back? Okay. When I look at our college, the college is on a solid foundation in many ways. So Paul deserves a lot of credit. I'm sure you all know very well. I'll just give you at least two examples. One, if you look at our buildings, most of them are renovated or they're new, except this floor which goes through renovation soon. The Endeavor building is a really state of the art. Paul, I think you deserve a lot of credit for that. Thank you. As another example, over the past 4 months, I have really get a taste of how much we do here, how well we do in fundraising, in engaging our stakeholders off campus. So Paul, I think over the decade you have done really well. Many other things, of course, but I'll just stop with the two examples. I also wanted to thank John for carrying the college forward during the transition period. I understand we went through a little turbulence, so John certainly had earned his retirement, but he was willing to come back for the sake of the college. And for that 1 year transition, John did a tremendous service to the college. And even better, John's willing to continue to lead our faculty affairs. So thank you, John. Thank you. So recognizing that we are on a solid foundation, I also realize I'm no longer outsider. I am one of you, and therefore I'm going to start by looking at our challenges, right? So if we only talk about the rosy picture, it doesn't really help us. So we're going to look at our challenges, and at least the faculty attrition, or look another way, faculty retention is a major challenge as far as I can see. You know, we work really hard, and you work really hard in recruiting our people, but then we don't do well with our faculty retention. we are not really going to serve our college well. That's another challenge. I understand ranking is, to some degree, if not larger degree, is a beauty contest. But we all understand our ranking affects our faculty recruiting, even retention, affects our student recruiting, affects us in many ways. And our ranking, despite all the wonderful work you all have been doing, our ranking has not really been going up. And that's a major challenge. There are at least those two serious challenges. There are also some perceived or somewhat perceived challenges. Some of you probably think, what happens to space, right? If you wanted to grow, do we have a space? And we need to look into it. And the challenge of aligning with our university's new initiatives, new directions, like a Polytech. I understand that some of you are concerned. It may be a perceived challenge. There also are other initiatives, other changes in the university, how the college could really support the university and then in return receive the support from the university. Those are challenges, right? So there are some serious challenges. There are some somewhat perceived, at least, challenges. I would argue those are also opportunities. And if we turn those challenges to opportunities, we could truly achieve preeminence. Okay? So it is possible. Remember, I consider myself now not outsider, one of you, so we talk about challenges. Otherwise, we just talk about our wonderful success. So with that in mind, we ask ourselves, who really can make that happen? Is that going to be our campus? Is that going to be our building? Is that going to be our endowment? All of those are very important. I would argue it is the people, it is you. We make that happen, okay? So this presentation will have a people focus, and you can find your roles as I present. And together we probably can do really some amazing things. I hope you will be convinced by the end. I understand there are doubts. If I were you, I would also have doubts having gone through the leadership change, which doesn't happen here often. We have long-serving deans, so the change certainly has an impact. Other challenges, specific challenges, probably leave you doubt. But it is the people that can make those happen, and the people includes you. So with that, this is how the presentation will flow. I will start with the first group of people, that's our students. I'll talk about the enrollment, the intake of a student, how we support them, and look at the retention and the completion, and give you a few examples of a student recognition. And then I'll move on to talk about the faculty staff. I'll give you a faculty staff headcount. Then look at what the faculty staff have done in terms of education, research, extension, foundation, and also recognition. And if you look at what our students are, how wonderful things they have done, have performed, look at our faculty, look at the wonderful things we have accomplished. You probably will see that the college have a bright future. And we'll talk about the college recognition, talk about the future. So majority of the presentation, the report, will be on the present and the past. But I will spend a slide or two to talk about the future. And that opens up the conversation. That's not the end, but rather the start of our conversation. So of course, like I mentioned, with the great people, we can make a great college, or make our college great. Okay, let's start with the students. Look at the enrollment. So it looks like we have reliable data from four semester 2016 onwards. That is the data we can access. So you look at the enrollment over the past 6, 7, 8 years, it has been going kind of steadily down. There are all kind of reasons. We pushed students out. We went through COVID period. regardless. That is the trend of our enrollment. You heard the provost talking about 350, 360 increase in the freshman class. I'm delighted to share with you, according to the projection that Carissa has shared with me, our college is probably going to see an enrollment total, not just a freshman, total enrollment growth, probably about 400 this coming fall relative to last. So we're using full semester snapshot. Okay, that's a good sign. So our enrollment is finally picking up. Thank you for all the wonderful things you've done. Coming to the kind of the intake quality of our students. So what you're looking at are the SAT scores on the horizontal axis and the percentage of incoming students. The gray bar represent the university intake, that's freshman class. So if you look at below 23 in the group of 12 to 22 in the ACT score, certainly in the university group, there's a higher percentage than the orange bar shows, which is our college group. On the other hand, if you look at the group that has a score with a 28 to 36, the higher ACT score, the colleges certainly having higher percentage. And in between, you can see the transition. So in general, we are taking in very competitive students. And that's because of the work that you have done. That's because of the program you have to develop. That's because of the support you have to provide to advising and others. So overall, the average college ACT is 27, the university is 23.5. So we're taking really the better segment of our student population into this college, thanks to all the work we have done. Once they come in, we certainly work to provide the support in terms of SEED scholarship. And this year alone, we gave out to about $3.7 million. And that number has been going up. As I mentioned, this is one of the things I think the college is doing really well over the years. You can see that this has been going up. We also have beefed up our summer bridge programs. You can see the number of participants has been going up. And thank you. I see Gervais nodding her head. That helps tremendously. We have students. Some of you probably still remember the concern with the pre-SEED students. The concern was if you have a student who are not totally prepared, they come in, they could really run into difficulty with the taking freshman classes, and the summer break program certainly helped. You will see in the next slide how much it has helped. If you look at the career fair attendance, and this has a lot to do with our student groups, that after the COVID has really picked up, and that's a good sign. The number of companies that participated, whether it's a SEED career fair or the construction career fair or the architecture, overall it has been really going up, and that's great. It looks like we may have a little room capacity issue to take in more companies to our SEED career fair. If that's the case, we may want to see how we can find a bigger room so we could have more companies that participate in our career fair. Okay, as I mentioned, with the pre-SEED student now no longer separated, and they become, they all are part of our SEED freshman class. And you probably would wonder where the fall-to-fall retention rate would go. So what you're looking at is this gray bar is the university retention, 1 year retention. The orange bar is our college retention. Overall, we have pretty high retention rate. But very importantly, from last fall to this fall, whether the pre-SEED students combined to the SEED freshmen, you have achieved a retention rate of 90%. Just to put that in perspective, the national average for all the post-secondary education, the first year retention rate is 77%. 77. Okay? Then you look at the university, the OSU retention rate. That's 83% this year. Look at the college retention rate, 90%. We can certainly try to do better. I must say, there's probably not that much room you can improve, but we'll continue to strengthen it better. By the end of the day, there will be some student that come in to say, you know, engineering is not my cup of tea. Architecture is not my cup of tea. It is impossible, right? But you have done a phenomenal job to achieve this 90%. Doesn't matter how you compare. You compare with the OSU retention rate, you compare with the national average, 90% is something. When I went out to speak to meet our alum, and they heard this number, this comparison, they're all impressed. So you have done a wonderful job. Now, of course, not only we retain them, we look how many of them graduate. There is, on the left, there's the full-year graduation rate. For the full-year graduation rate, you can see our number is consistently lower than the university full-year graduation rate. And many of you know the engineering program is not really a full-year program. It is a full-year program in theory, but in practice, if you miss one class, you're probably going to be delayed, right? So full-year graduation rate is important, but it's probably not that meaningful for engineering or for C. On the other hand, if you look at the 6-year graduation rate, we're doing pretty well. I think the college is 68%, and the university is 67% also percent. That's a pretty good number. So the last data point we have essentially is for the class that graduated in 2023. We reached 68%. Maybe one day we can reach 70%. I would say, yes, we can do better, but at the same time, we also recognize people do change their mind in the process. So, with a high-quality student intake, with the phenomenal support that we, the faculty staff, provide, and you see the retention rate, you see the graduation rate. Certainly our students succeed, right? I'll give you a few examples to highlight our student recognition. So we have 2 students that were recognized as Goldwater scholars, Sam and Trey. Are they here? They're probably not here. Okay. We also have 2 Wayne Allen scholars and 1 Wayne Allen Boys and the Girls Club scholar. Certainly, those are, the scholarship is extremely competitive. It's huge. So not surprisingly, our students are also really top of the top. If you look at their past success, that is just so impressive. We also have the senior of significance, all the 3, and out of the 3, and we have 1 outstanding senior. So our students come in, they're very competitive, they're very capable, and I think having Carson here represents us as well. But this year, I would say we should do even more, do even better, to have more of our students nominated and selected in the 2 groups, seniors of significance and outstanding senior. This year, John and I went to the celebration. When I was there, it was like, with our students, we should have more than 1 outstanding seniors. So remember, when the time comes, let's put our effort together, nominate more. We certainly should be proud of what our students have accomplished and recognize them. These are the top freshmen. So all the three here are among the top 20 freshmen in the university, and two of them are also selected further to be the top 10 that's shown here. Okay, finally, we do have one student that was Black Research Scholar. We have 12 students here that were selected as WINS Research Scholars. So we have a lot of students being recognized, and I think more of our students can be recognized and should be recognized. We'll do more. Okay, transitioning from students to faculty and the staff. Of course, faculty staff here support the student, enable the student to be successful. So let me start by sharing with you the head count of the faculty and the staff since fall 17. So this orange bar here is the tenure track faculty. The gray or the black bar is the career track faculty. We also have this, that's our staff in the schools and in the dean's office, and we also have this gray that represents extension staff. So there are some observations that will become important later on when we talk about our potential to do more. So if you look at this, the number of our faculty has grown. Slowly, that it has grown. Okay, so you look at the tenure track faculty. It is slightly below. It was slightly below 130, and now it's about 150. Has grown by 20 some, and the career track faculty grow by probably about 20. So we now are at about 170 total full-time faculty. This does not include the faculty in DAE. In terms our extension staff, it went up a little bit also, but more importantly in terms the staff supporting the schools and the dean's office, that's gone up quite a bit. So it started from about here roughly, and now they're here. So it was below 100, now it's close to about 120. So staff number has gone up by about 20. Faculty number has gone up by about 20, roughly. Include plus minus few. But over the past 7 years, 6 years, our faculty staff both have grown. In terms of the supporting staff here in the dean's office and in the school, it has gone up by 20. Faculty number has gone up by 20. Now, if I look at the distribution of a faculty in the schools, so you can see about 23%, this is probably the largest share, is in mechanical aerospace engineering. The next is the engineering technology, that's a division, has multiple programs. Then you have civil, that's about 13, ECE at 12, architecture about 11, chemical and IEM are at 10, 11. MICE is still small, it's a 4%, CEAT also at Tulsa. What I wanted to call to your attention is the ratio. This is for the coming semester, full semester. So we now know how many are hired, how many have departed. So what we have in the, starting next month, or starting this month rather, we have 84 tenure track. I'm sorry, 84 tenured faculty members, that's associate tenure and full professor, that include myself, include associate deans, include school heads. Then we have 66 tenure track, mostly assistant professors. So you recognize assistant professors spend about 6 years on tenure track, typically, and associate professors spend about 5-6 years to get promoted to full professor. And a full professor spend probably 30 years, and that would be 4, 5 also 6-year period, right? So in essence, you should be looking at assistant to associate to full professor ratio of a 1:1 to 5. Or if you lump associate and full professor together, you should be looking at 1 to 6. Let's say, not everyone stays as a full professor, but not 1 to 6, 1 to 5, at least 1 to 4. That would still be reasonably healthy ratio. We got close to 1 to 1, and that's a very challenging. Okay, and this will impact how we look forward, how we recruit, and this is one of the 2 major challenges I pointed out. If you look at this, we have really unhealthy tenure track to tenure faculty ratio. I'll give you one example why that is challenging. We need tenure faculty to mentor our tenure track assistant professors. You take away about 10 or so from 84 that are associate deans, school heads. You basically have about 1 to 1. And some of the tenure faculty may not be the best to advise assistant professors. They may not match. So we don't even have enough tenure faculty to mentor tenure track one-on-one. Maybe some tenure faculty are so gracious, you mentor more, but that's not very helpful. Okay? So this is the overview of where we stand, where we have been over the 6-7 years in terms of faculty staff count, and also in terms of the challenge of tenure to tenure track and faculty ratio. So if you look at what our faculty staff have delivered in education, research, and others, and this is the number of semester credit hours. So this is over the fiscal year, not the snapshot. For example, this represents fiscal year 24. That's from fall 23 to spring 2024. And you look at the number of semester credit hours that we have delivered every year. That number has been going down. And again, there are all kinds of factors. We try to push a student to graduate in 4 years and 6 years. We speed up their graduation, remove the professional schools and so on. And there was also COVID. But the bottom line is the number of semester credit hour has been consistently going down. Okay. Now, then you look at the semester credit hours distributed over the schools. This is not totally accurate, but mostly accurate. We are trying to get the data in a short period of time. But you get a sense. For example, I started with this mechanical aerospace. You had about 23% of the faculty, and it delivered about 23% of the college's semester credit hour. BET, for example, has a much smaller percentage. So you look at the pie chart on the top, that's the pie chart that shows the faculty distribution. You can see BET and architecture carry higher percentage of the semester credit hour. And partly for architecture, the focus is on education. Engineering technology has been focusing on education, even so research has been growing. There are a few other schools that deliver less or lower percentage than the faculty share in terms of semester credit hours. I would caution you, we don't just do teaching alone, okay? So what we should be looking at is what we have contributed in teaching education, what we have contributed in research, and later on, we should also look at what we have contributed in extension. So we should look at the overall picture. Just one area in terms of contribution doesn't mean a department is not performing well. But you get a sense which school is contributing more in this area. This is a bit more sharp. On the positive side, you look at our research expenditure. So the orange segment is the seat proper. The gray segment is from BAE. BAE is a part of the college, however, BAE is affiliated with the college, but also sit primarily in agriculture. So our research expenditure has been going up really well over the years. And now we are at without counting DE, we are at about $33 million per year. And that's quite a remarkable accomplishment. So you start from about 13, battery's dead. So you start from about 13 million and went up to about 33 million. So 6-7 years, $20 million growth. That's impressive. So thank you. We have a couple. I want you to point out in this pie chart, the architecture is not shown, but we do have an extension. So even so, there's no faculty extension, not necessarily faculty home, but they also carry 8%, roughly 8% of our research expenditure. What is very impressive here is mechanical and aerospace engineering. Remember, I mentioned that their faculty share is only 23%, but they carry 49% of the research expenditure, and that's on one hand, it's a major success. On the other hand, there is also a workload. Certainly, that's on my radar. So that's great. You're doing well, but also you need more support in terms of particular faculty and also staff. There are other schools that also do pretty well. Civil engineering has contributed a pretty large share. So extension really kicked in. So you can see which school is contributing more here. Probably the most impressive here is mechanical and aerospace engineering. Thank you. Okay, then you can look at the new research works. This should correlate with expenditure to a large degree. There are probably two things that don't correlate so well. MAE did not receive that many awards, but still 36% for 23% of faculty. That's big. IEM came out much better in terms of research award. That means that for the past year, they received a lot more award than they spent. So this share is much higher than the expenditure. DEP actually is doing pretty well in terms of getting engineering technology, in terms of getting new award. So did civil and also chemical engineering. Material science engineers are picking up. This small faculty, I think, has quite an impact on the material science engineer school. There was a large increase in terms of research award. I think we had 2 or so major projects coming in, but overall, the annual research award coming into the college is also growing. So our research is overall, our research enterprise is really growing. So thank you. This is doing well. Thank you. And of course, this is the proposal. This shows the effort. But it doesn't necessarily mean how much you will lead to awards. But this shows how much effort you put in. It's more than $100 million every year that you ask. That's a lot to ask. That's a lot to write in order to ask. So you spend a tremendous amount of time writing the proposals. We all know writing proposals doesn't mean you get the funding. Particularly if you are writing proposal to the basic science agency like NSF, you're getting 10% of the chance. It's almost like a lottery. But if you don't try, you're not going to be funded. So thank you for spending time, taking the effort. Our requested amount is also going. Okay, coming to the extension. So from education to research, I'd like to see a few words about the extension. We are a land-grant university, we are A&M, and we have a large extension which is doing very well. I would also argue that our faculty have a wonderful opportunity because we are land-grant, we are A&M, we have extension. I would argue that faculty have a chance to contribute more in extension. I learned that in our workload policy, in our annual review process, the extension effort is not necessarily recognized. I mean, working with your school has to see how we can revise our workload policy, our review criteria. We don't require everyone to work on extension, but we wanted to give you the flexibility so you all, the faculty, could contribute to extension and be recognized, okay? So in the next semester also, you will hear more how we can possibly revise the college school level policies so we can enable our faculty to do more and to be recognized, more recognized in extension effort. So, I think that's going to benefit you, the faculty. Is also going to benefit the state of Oklahoma. We can serve our state better, and we can recognize our faculty for doing all the work. So right now, under the leadership of Ed, we have in the engineer extension, we have 139, very precise, almost 140 full-time staff. Their annual budget or annual expenditure is about $30 million. They have 8 units. So when I look at this pie chart, that's the budget distribution over the units of the engineer extension. I see a lot of things burning. So I see fire, fire, and the fire. So you combine the 3, almost 2/3 are on fire. So great job in the area of fire. That also indicated without me learning too much, having the chance to learn that much about what engineering extension does, I can see our leadership role, our dominance in the area of everything but fire. I went to several events. I was deeply impressed how well we are respected in the area of fire. And we also work with the local government technical support. So you take that as probably the next largest area. We do have our college IT support, our STEM team in that area, in addition to product development and also local technical support for the county government, also tribal governments. So if you look at what we have done here, we have reached out to 77 counties in Oklahoma. We have reached out to the country, all the 50 states, and to the world, to the 13 Canadian provinces or territories and 25 foreign countries. You know, in my first few months, I stayed in Residence Inn, and there I met a lot of firefighters or fire chiefs coming from California, Maryland, and they came to our OSU engineer extension for training. And you can tell, I feel the pride. So in terms of student and learner engagement, almost 10,000 courses were delivered, 250,000 course participants, and also more than 2,500, 2,600 professional certifications issued. So a lot of wonderful things happened in our engineering extension. This does not really describe all the impacts, but a few numbers give you a sense. If you interact with the people, particular people, you know, in the local counties, particularly people in the fire area, they can tell you a lot of stories about how much impact our college, our engineering extension has made. So for each of the 8 units, we have included a few highlights. Even so, I'm a number person, but I figure going through all these numbers is probably going to put you to sleep. So I'll refrain from doing that. I would just say, really look at all those numbers. You know, the first on the top, you see everything but the fire. You know, you have more than 200,000 students. You have more than 2,000 professional certifications, 100,000 COs issued. And you look at the professional development, how many courses we delivered, that's 1 year, 174, and 170 also consultations with our Oklahoma manufacturers. We issued more than 200 professional certifications. look at information technology. They don't support this extension, they support the entire college. So more than 3,000 student faculty consultations. Our K-12, they had very successful summer camps, 60 of them. So a lot of school students came on campus to see engineering, to see architecture, to see technology. I met some of them. I could tell by looking in their eyes how much their eyes were opened to this field. I don't know whether every one of them will come to join our college, but certainly this is a great program to give the student exposure so they can think about CEAT when they're ready to go to college. There's also not only education research and extension, there's also the foundation component. Even so, foundation is kind of separated from OSU proper, but they work very closely with the college. So this shows over the years the donation that came in for the college. And I was told that this fiscal year 21, we had a lot of money for the Ham Institute, right, Paul? So remember, I mentioned earlier, one thing that really formed part of the solid foundation for the college to grow further is the engagement of alum. So I think how John, or even the former dean, who I did not get a chance to meet, Reed, I'm sure they all contributed. I also felt how much how much engagement our alum have felt. So picture at the bottom is one that was taken in Dallas last month when the foundation organized Meet the Dean event. It was on Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock. I thought, you know, if half a dozen people showed up, that's the norm. If a dozen people showed up, that's pretty good. It's working day, Wednesday, 6 p.m. in Dallas, got a lot of traffic. So our foundation did well. I would say, Powell, John, you laid the foundation, so the engagement was there. So almost 60 people, somewhere between 50 and 60 people showed up on that Wednesday. I was really impressed. And they had a lot of wonderful things to say about our college. I think their engagement goes way beyond just the donation or fundraising. They help the college in many other ways. A partnership, advising, supporting our students, and so on. So in this area, the engagement, particularly through foundation, you have done well. You all collectively have worked to lay a very solid foundation. This is really nice. Okay. With all these wonderful things in education, in research, extension, foundation, those are done by you, the faculty and staff. So I was trying to collect the pictures, list all the recognitions. Then I realized, as the slide piles up, we still have quite a few missing. And fortunately, I learned that we have a spring event that will be dedicated to recognizing our faculty and staff. So what I'm going to do is to recognize you just in one large group. You know, we have our faculty over the past year elected to National Academy, to Society Fellows, to Society Presidents, Society Committee Chairs, Mentoring Awards, Service Editors. We have our staff honored for the Distinguished Service Award, the Star Award, many awards and recognitions. So instead of going one by one, which will take me probably about an hour, could I ask all of you who are recognized in the professional society, in the university, and in the college, all the faculty staff, could you please stand? Don't be shy. foundation to make this a college what it is today. So thank you very, very much. So, you know, with our students, with our faculty, staff, as the core of the college, that's the people really, it is not surprising that we have made a lot of progress in terms of college success. So, shown here is one way of recognizing college. Again, as a caution, I do recognize ranking often has a lot of a beauty contest. For example, if you look at the US News ranking, the undergraduate engineering ranking is 100% based on reputation. People would say this beauty contest. The graduate ranking is 25% based on reputation. The other 75% based on matrix, like our research expenditure, faculty recognition, faculty qualification, National Academy members, and so PhD student, graduate, and so on. But regardless, the ranking has a huge impact on us. The ranking affects what type of student we attract, undergraduate and graduate student. Ranking affects what type of faculty we attract, what type of faculty we can retain. So this is very important. I wanted to look back our history. We don't have all the data, and somehow we don't have the data of undergraduate ranking 18 and 19. We have reached out to US News, maybe next year, we'll figure that out. But even with the data available, you can see, despite all the work, amazing work you have done. Roughly, you can say over the years, the orange bar represents graduate ranking, which I would probably give more weight. The dark or the gray bar represent undergraduate ranking. So still important, it's a reputation. At the best, we could say it has been fluctuating. At the worst, overall, if you make a linear interpolation, if that means anything for such a few data points, it has been going down. That's not right. And it's not right, it's not good for us, okay? So if I do a linear interpolation, this roughly is how it looks like. It's not accurate. It's just with the naked eyes, I draw two lines. But one thing you can see, none of those two lines are going up. That's what we need. That's what we deserve. So whether that's the engineering overall ranking, let's look at the school ranking or the program ranking instead. So the overall, the college engineering is ranked for graduate is 111. I seriously think we belong to a different league, even just based on what you have accomplished. And that means we are among the top 56 percentile. I wanted to mention that you probably in the past, I look at the table you see in the past, you have been looking, in the past you've been looking at how many percent of the colleges are below us. This table shows how many percent are ahead of us. So instead of looking at the people behind us, we're now looking at the people ahead of us. We wanted to get ahead. So industrial engineering management is number 36, and that's in the top 36 percentile. Mechanical is number 77 in the top 42 percentile. Somewhat reasonable to me. So those are within the top half of all the national engineering, national research university, that's not the term, national doctoral universities engineering program. Civil and the electrical engineer are close to about 50%. What really caught my attention was the aerospace or aeronautical engineering. Since I know we have large research effort in aerospace or aeronautical rather engineering area, but our ranking is in the bottom quartile. So this table and that chart tells me the historical data and the current data tells me we are facing some challenges. We do good work, but for whatever reason, it is not recognized. And there may be room to improve. There should be room to improve. Someone really did not like this. I will continue talking, and you know what is in the slide. So when you look at that information, it is not unreasonable to be a little bit cynical if you hear that we are going to do better and we're going to be greater. If I were you, I would also be a bit cynical because you have worked hard. Your dean or your deans have led you well, but still, our ranking didn't go up, and if any change, you went down. And you look at our faculty related to this is a kind of a combination of a lot of things, right? So definitely with deeper our faculty retention is being issue. We recruit really stars, but we don't necessarily retain all the wonderful star faculty. So, are we stuck? That is, regardless how hard you work, you have been working really hard. I don't know, I can make you work even harder, right? It should not go much better. And does that mean we cannot do better? If you use the ranking as a combination of representation of, as umbrella for everything we do, can we really elevate our ranking, get our reputation up? That means we do our education well, do our research well, do our extension well, do our recruiting well, and so on and so forth, right? I would argue that yes, it is not unreasonable to be somewhat cynical, but I wanted to also offer you a different perspective. So, at Northeastern University, where I was a department chair, and also University of North Texas, where I was a dean, it so happens at each place, we moved our US News ranking up by 14 places. Okay, it can happen. I'll make some comparison. I think Northeastern has a bit more advantage than we do. Part of that is, it is in Boston, part of that Northeastern, overall the university was ascending over the years. It ascended from number 130s also as a university to top 40s in the country. So that naturally lifts the engineering programs as well. But we also did well. In 5 years, we moved up our ranking, graduate ranking by 14 places. And then North Texas is in the other direction. It's less advantageous than our college. Here's why. In this state, we are probably one, if not the best, we're one of the best. North Texas is not so in Texas. And in North Texas, engineering was even not considered as a major focus of the college. It was less than 20 years old. Yet, we moved our ranking from 140s to 130s in less than 4 years. So what I'm trying to say is not how capable I was, rather it is doable. If we work it together, we can move our ranking up by another 14 places, maybe more, double digits. That's what I wanted to tell you. Yes, this has been tough, but yes, it is has been possible at other universities that may be more advantageous, maybe less advantageous than our college. And yet, they moved up double digit, happened to be 14 places each. So, I ask you, together, can we overcome the challenge and elevate this college? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, we can, right? So here is what I propose. Overall, we realize we face challenges. If we take the challenges, such as aligning with the Polytech, such as faculty attrition, such as our ranking, we take those as opportunities. We turn them into opportunities. We can really achieve preeminence. And I call this a 6G proposal. I think some of you who attended my interview probably saw this. So bear with me for a few minutes in case I think not all of you were there. So Polytech came upon us. With or without your input, it is here. So if we could take that as opportunity instead of a challenge, we can grow our Polytech programs, educational programs. Indeed, many of you have been doing that. Ed has been doing that. Rama has been doing that. True has been doing that. Many of you have been doing that. So by growing those programs, we can grow our enrollment naturally. And we are basically going to develop what I call forward-looking, in-demand programs. We're not going to be competing on associate degrees. We're going to be doing what we are good at, right? Graduate programs, undergraduate programs, certificate, medical credentials. So extension can be a very big piece of this. When you grow enrollment, of course, not only we support our students, give access to students from every corner of the state or even beyond the state, in the state from rural areas also. But also in parallel, we are going to generate more tuition revenues. With the tuition revenue, we will have money to grow our faculty, okay? If we grow our faculty, like I did with the faculty staff in the other two institutions, we grow by 50%. So we now are at about 150 or so tenure track. If we can grow by 70, 80, that's 50%. It can have a lot of impact. By doing so, of course, you're going to grow the research big time. And with the more faculty, more staff, and also the more flexible workload policy, we're also going to grow our extension. And that's another area we impact the state. When you put education, research, extension together, you grow all the three areas. There's no reason we do not grow our preeminence. The only other thing I did not mention is really our PR work that we need to beef up. I'll come to that in a slide later. But this is kind of what I would propose. I understand the possible cynicism that we may have, but know that that type of growth has happened at least twice from my personal experience. So we do that. I think it's not that difficult. We get in the top 90s, at least within 100 in 5 years. It is doable. We have to give ourselves confidence, give ourselves a chance, and look what happened elsewhere, what happened here, recognizing our solid foundation, recognizing all the wonderful people we have. We should be able to do this. So I do want to share with you some new developments. Those are kind of a little fragmented. I came in beginning of April and learned quite a bit by talking with you, working with the leadership team. So along the line of that bigger picture, there are a few things that we have been working on, things that are happening. Number one, it started with our faculty council chair, Brian, in the executive council meeting that brought up this issue of graduate student net compensation, and we were not competitive. So we looked into that, working with the school head, associate deans, and came up with a mechanism so we will waive. So when graduate students support as a TA and RA, then they 50%. They automatically get tuition waiver. However, they have to pay all the seat fees. They will now receive a 35% waiver off of the fees. Whether that they become, I think, the number 2. Our package become a number 2 most competitive among about 10 peer institutions in the region. Texas Tech, OU, K-State, KU, basically similar university like ours. Okay, so now we have a competitive package for RTA and RAs. That has, I think, has taken effect, Jean, right?
I'm still working through the red tape.
Working through it. Things are happening. Second thing is related to the challenge I alluded to earlier. That's proactive recruiting, preemptive retention, put plus sign, I'll tell you why, and also research revitalization. So this year, some of you probably have already heard from your school head, I'm encouraging every school to start proactive recruiting. That is to recruit middle career associate professors, maybe early career full professors, recognizing that we have a very unhealthy tenure track faculty ratio. So if you need someone to cover your teaching, hire a teaching faculty to start with, because that gives you more teaching capacity just by 1 hire or 2 hires. But overall, when it comes to tenure track, I'm asking you all to please join me for this proactive recruiting. What that really means is we have to identify those candidates, call them, get them here without them having to apply. And we need to look at those, career awardees elsewhere, successful middle career faculty, with the support from DOD, NASA, anywhere, poach them basically. And you have to really give the nomination to the school head. I will work with you through the school head, through the associate dean, faculty affairs. And we need really to proactively recruit, okay? So if you do so, you can hire multiple faculty even without allocation to your school. The college has a pool of faculty lines you can use. So the more proactive you do, the more faculty you get to your school. If you don't do it, other schools do it. It's your loss, okay? So get started. Well, we recruited people from outside. We wanted to make sure we treat our people on campus here well. So we've been talking with the head and associate deans how we can work on the preemptive retention. So the baseline for preemptive retention is if we have a star faculty, particularly middle career faculty, they're doing well, have a lot of funding, for example, they may be poached. We do not want it to wait until they get offered. We want it to preemptively retain, either in the form of salary raise or research space, whatever that is. We do what we can. I put a plus sign here also because in my mind, faculty excellence doesn't show only in terms of research dollars. There's a second group of faculty that are great scholars, but they may not have a lot of funding. And it happens. If you work on theoretical topics, it could happen. You're a great scholar, but you don't need that much funding, or you don't get that much funding. And we need to recognize that. It's hard. You have to really rely on peers in the society to really identify the scholars, the good scholars that are recognized. The third group is even harder to identify. We know we don't just work on research. We exist because of education. So we have good citizens in each school, in the college. They contribute a lot to our education mission. They contribute a lot to our extension. Anytime the school head or the dean needs someone to help, and need the faculty to help mentor students or welcome students over the weekend, you always have a few faculty who I call good citizens. They always come forward to help. They don't mind it's a Saturday, it's a Sunday. So that third group of people also ought to be recognized. That's why I put preemptive retention class. I was told the last two groups is not necessarily retention, it's recognition. But since I put that in the same group, I would say that's preemptive retention. Finally, we are where we are because where we have been, the history. So we recognize, I do recognize, over the years, faculty can slow down. And in this case, tenure faculty may be super active in research after 10, 20 years. That particular funding type goes away. So Chuck is working on this research revitalization. For the proactive recruiting and preemptive retention, John is leading the effort. So for research revitalization, we're looking at ways to provide tenure faculty who have not been funded externally for 3 years or so with the seed funding teaching release. We're trying to figure out how we do that. We match funding from the school and the college, and we'll figure out a way to do that. So we will have a shared responsibility among the faculty, the school, faculty concerned, the school, and the college. So we can support our own faculty to succeed to revitalize research. A lot on that topic. Next, I wanted to work on a few things to maximize everyone's potential, right? A few kind of little tricks. One, we're looking at our workload policy to make a teaching buyout more viable. So if you have a faculty who have a lot of research effort, and we should enable them to do so to maximize their potential by giving them less teaching. There has to be a baseline. And also, we wanted to relax this policy on the so-called 13th month of pay. So if you have to work, to have overload work because of the need of the college or the university, such as teaching extra courses, doing extra service, it will be allowed to be paid up to 13 months a year. Also, I mentioned that we are working on the workload policy review criteria to recognize faculty in engineer extension efforts. That is to say, this should be counted as a workload and also should be counted in the tenure reappointment promotion process. Next, we are starting this faculty staff coffee hour, working with the school. The idea is to bring faculty together, bring staff together. As a suggestion, of course, this can take many different forms. It's for faculty to really talk about the research of what you do, in collaboration what you give, in collaboration what you wanted to take, right? To promote interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary collaboration, but also for staff and the faculty together to talk about the broader interest, what you do beyond your research, beyond your teaching, beyond your extension, in order for us to work together to develop a strong sense of belonging. I think we need to know each other better. And we sometimes have to debate or even argue. No, this is not right? You should hire people in, I'm going to pick a mechanical. You have to hire people in solid area. Others will say, no, we need to hire people in fluid. So you can be arguing very bitterly during a day. By having this type of coffee hour to get together, you realize your colleagues are just as human as you are. It just happens that think differently. And by doing that type of social events, I think we can bond better, so we can work together better. We have a better sense of belonging. John is working with the school has to see how quickly we can take this on. And also, you realize that John is now the Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs. A lot of that fall under faculty and staff affairs. Our faculty do pretty well. We don't receive enough recognition from professional societies. So the college will organize a committee to nominate our faculty, our staff, for professional fellowships, awards, to help get faculty elected in officer positions and so on, to become editors. The key is to promote the faculty to prominent leadership roles in professional society. That advances colleges, that advances faculty's career, it helps promote the college reputation. So that will also be happening. Right now, you know, even if you're qualified, you will be, many first will be shy, so shy to say, well, can you nominate me? Now you don't have to face that awkward moment. The college will have a committee that come to you, so we will nominate you. We'll ask you, what award, what opportunity do you stand a good chance for? Right? And we can work on the nomination. You still have to do majority of the work to draft the nomination letters and so on. Finally, to really promote our reputation, we're starting 2 lecture series. One is a CEAT Distinguished Lecture Series. This is primarily for National Academy members and Nobel Prize winners. We want them to come here to find out the wonderful things that we do. Of course, there's also opportunity for our faculty staff to see what the top scholars in the world talk about, what they do, what they think. The second lecture series is the College Leaders Lecture Series. This is primarily for department chairs, school heads, and deans, who are the people that really rank the programs, the colleges. So bring them in to see what we have, but also hopefully when they are impressed, they become our ambassador for the both series. They become our ambassador to go around to talk about who we are, what wonderful work we have done, what people we have, okay? So those are kind of a few pieces of work we have started. There'll be more. If you have suggestions what we need to, in the short term, need to work on, bring that to my attention, send me email. We will look into those. With that, I'm going to go into question. So the first group of questions are the ones that you send to Savannah, I think. I have grouped them into, for example, the first 3 are really similar, they're not the same question. I'll quickly read them since those in the back may not be able to see this well. What criteria do you consider in your decision making regarding letting staff work remotely? What is your position on employees working remotely or partially remote hybrid schedule? Will the possibility of remote work be opened up in the future? If so, when? So here's my take. We as a university here, as a college, we provide high quality in-person campus education. We all recognize online degree is a lot cheaper, and this is expensive educational program we provide. So the absolute highest priority is we provide the support for that in-person on-campus education. Okay, so what that really means is I would have wanted to provide flexibility as much as possible under the condition that your remote work does not negatively impact our job, be that teaching, be that research, be that extension. So I rely on your supervisor's judgment that this remote or hybrid work is not going to negatively impact the education, the research, the extension. So that's the key, right? So it's not whether I prefer or not. Rather, it's the belief that we are here to provide in-person, on-campus, high-quality education, which we all know is not cheap. So we need to do that well. We also have the mission in research and extension. So we have to make sure whatever arrangement, accommodation we provide does not negatively impact our mission. So that's the first group of questions. The second, there are 2. As a student to teachers ratio increase, what are your plans to increase hiring of the faculty? What teacher to student ratio initiates faculty search? As the expectation, second question, as the expectation for enrollment to grow, how is the college preparing to proactively address staffing needs? You heard me talking about the faculty count, semester credit hour, and so on. So I have a slide. I need to go back to, I know how to do it. Thank you. So remember, this is faculty and staff count, right? You saw this before. Over the years, at least 6-7 years, the faculty number has gone up. Not too much, but it's gone up. This is not extension staff, it's the staff primarily supporting education and so on. This number, it fluctuated, but has also gone up, about 2020. You look at the enrollment, it has been going down. Okay, so our faculty number has gone up, our staff number has gone up, our enrollment has come down. The good news is we have a capacity. We do have a capacity. That's not to say I can go to sleep without advocating for more resource. My job is to advocate for more resource. We're going to grow. You heard me talking and looking at the growing of faculty by 50%, and staff would grow accordingly. But if you look at this trend going up, this trend going down, you know we have a capacity. We do have a capacity, and we are also going to get more resource to get this number up even further while we grow our enrollment. So, short response is, do not worry. I think we do have a capacity now. If anything, our enrollment is below what we should have. The third group of question also came in two forms. One, when will the new graduate student office be available? When are we going to finish remodeling Engineer North? The first thing students see is the first floor. I believe we need to take some of our time and figure out what needs to happen. I know this is not top priority, but on our student priority. So number one, Engineer South graduate student space renovation is going to be ready by fall semester, probably end of the fall. Fall, early spring. So it is ongoing. Second, in terms of first floor, it is a priority. So you're absolutely right. So there are three sections. There's a classroom that is overseen by the provost office, and they have decided to renovate. There's also a second section that is rent or leased to ODOT, and they have decided to renovate. The third section is ours. We haven't decided to renovate. We're coordinating with the two other parties so we can renovate more or less at the same time as possible to cost minimum disturbance. So it's happening, okay? Number four, there are two forms of question. One, recently we have been seeing a trend where many successful assistant professors leave OSU to join other universities. What can we do to stop this attrition? The second part is, or second form, how can CEAT help departments to work losing less early career faculty? So you heard me talking about the proactive recruiting, preemptive retention, and the revitalization. So indeed, we see the loss of star faculty in the early stage. I think the actions we have taken not only in the preemptive retention, proactive recruiting, but also things like the coffee hour, things like teaching buyouts. Those all will work together. There's not going to be one action that's going to solve all the problems. But by working on the preemptive retention, by maximizing everyone's potential, supporting our faculty, all faculty, we should be able to reverse this trend. Also, by being able to poach similarly successful or more successful faculty, we're going to show this is a place that winners come. I think that's critical. That's why I'm asking you all to work on the proactive recruitment. Number 5, some full professor salaries are very low despite being active in research, teaching, and publishing. Some school has have their sweethearts and favorites. What is your plans for addressing inflation, providing compensation adjustment for staff? Can you please share any strategies or initiatives that are being considered to give staff a raise to offset the impact of the inflation? So good news first. We have been looking, in connection with the preemptive retention. We have been working on mechanism to do that transparently and fairly. So if you have any ideas, give that feedback to your school head. I've been consulting the school head how we can really give faculty the proper compensation without just giving everyone uniformly, right? It just doesn't make too much sense. But also we wanted to make sure this is done fairly. That is to say, when challenged, we know what rationale we have to follow. But the bottom line is, when we talk about being a major league, when we talk about being in the top 90s, we have to act like major leagues do. That is, to pay our people accordingly. I have requested data from the university Okay, they basically have the university, the salary database of almost all the peer institutions. So last time I got the data, it was for the average salary. I returned the sheet, asked for the median, and figured, a few highly paid faculty could skew the average. So I'm getting the database. I've been working with the school head, associate deans, to develop a mechanism to really raise the faculty salary when they either they need retention, preemptive retention, because they are so marketable, or because they are such a scholar, even so without funding, or because they're such good citizens, right? Of course, we don't want to just give salary raise to people that do not contribute as much as they should. But we are working on that mechanism. We haven't figured out the ideal mechanism. So it's rewarding the contributors, and yet it's fair. So it is being done, and we have the resources we need to do that. On staff, I've been working with the Jean and Kim, our HR and finance colleague, to see how we can give raise to our staff, particularly those that are paid at the lower end. My coming here in April was a little bit shocking. I seriously, before coming here, I thought the cost of living would be a lot lower here. To my unpleasantly surprised, the cost of living is not lower than Boston area. So I recognize that, whether such a cost of a living, whether the compensation that particularly our staff receive, it is a challenge. So we're looking into that, but I wanted to caution you for staff. As a dean, I have less flexibility than for faculty. For faculty, I have the national database for faculty salary. That's our peers, compared faculty here with the faculty of a peer institution. For staff, there has to be coordination with other colleges. Imagine if hypothetically, our college staff salary goes up. We're going to cause a problem to many other colleges. That's not going to function in a university. We have to be good team players. We're going to coordinate. Jean has attended several meetings with her counterpart at other colleges. So this is issue on the radar, but it will require more coordination than for faculty. It is on my radar. It will be a little slower, but I recognize that issue, okay? I cannot say too much more for staff than what I can say for faculty, because for the faculty, we have a lot more autonomy. Number 6, DET has been a department for decades, with 5 undergraduate programs, 3 graduate programs. Why are we not a school? Good question. That's the question I asked. However, some of you know, we have an ABET team coming next week for our DEP. So all my attention right now is on that ABAT. After ABAT, I'll be coming to solicit your feedback, and so together we can answer that question. Not now. Now all of our attention should be on that ABAT. We need a successful ABAT accreditation. Afterwards, probably October, December, depending on whether we get any deficiency or anything like that. This is on my radar. This is the first question. One of the first questions I asked when coming here. Good question. But we're not going to answer that right now. We're going to answer that, start to answer that later fall semester after the ABAT. Number 7, we recently scored the top 10 for online graduate engineering program. We set a plan to expand it to all CEAT departments. I don't see any reason why not, but I need to understand a bit more. There's also the funding mechanism, so there are a lot of discussions. There's one rate for online program and so on and so forth. So kudos to the success, to the people who made this possible. So I'm certainly open, but I don't have enough information that is important, okay? I need to learn more on how the online programs works, how much capacity we have and so on, but I'm open. Number 8, how can we enhance the research and education collaboration with the Chinese universities without being influenced by the wrong governmental policy? With my accent, you probably can tell, I came from China. So, it's, you know, I sometimes would say, often one set of parents. In this regard, I have set of parents, adopted parents, or motherland, adopted motherland. So I certainly wanted to promote that, but I must say, it is important that as the dean, I have to make sure we comply with our law and the policies. So we are exploring. This is a dynamic process. The VP research was supposed to be coming today, but he went on travel to talk about the new research security policy. So there are a lot of policies that probably will set a boundary for us. We will certainly promote such a collaboration as much as possible. Meanwhile, I would say, don't have your hope too high in this regard. Regardless the outcome of the November election, I don't think this is going to become any easier soon. So it's going to be challenging. We have some really wonderful collaboration programs, such as the Southwest Jiaotong University. So this is really nice program. But even for that, we have difficulty sending our instructors there because the federal policy basically says, if you send anyone there, that person is on his or her own. Our university employment policy requires they're not on their own, they're on us. We are responsible. So there will be a lot of challenges. I love to see this getting better, but I'm also realistic. Number 9, what can faculty do to help support the Polytech vision? You have been helping. One thing is, in your mind, let's look forward, not backward. I recognize you should have been more involved in the process. But it is what it is. The Polytech program has taken off. The train has left the station. It's up to us to join, to jump on the wagon, and or just say, I'm out. I say, we jump on the wagon, just be helpful, be supportive. In the process, we can help define what that is. And that's actually good news. It is not well defined. And we can help define what it is. And define in a way that benefits society, define in a way that benefits the college. I think add to how Raman, many others have been doing just that. All I can ask you is to really keep an open mind. This is something that we can really turn from a challenge to opportunity, if you wanted to. I think you can do that. What is the largest goal you have for CEAT within the next academic year? There's so many. If I name one, I don't know how far we can go in 1 year, but I'm certainly hoping to see major improvement. And that is our faculty retention, right? So it probably was shown by the end of the year, but the key is I like to see that this is the environment that more faculty and staff have a stronger sense of belonging. And that's something I hope to say. By doing proactive recruiting, we show winners come here. By doing the preemptive retention, coffee hour, and so on and so forth, we make this environment better. So that would be an indicator I love to see. Number 11, part A, what are you enjoying most about Stillwater? B, what are you enjoying most about Stillwater, about OSU? If I see politically correctly, and also truly, I enjoy working with you. But that sounds a little too much. I would say, you probably think that's not real. It is real. But I wanted to also say, I really have not only enjoyed the Middle Western hospitality, and that's really from people like you, people in the city. I have enjoyed the local food very much. I'm a foodie, so I tried the Mexican food truck, Smoking Joe, Eskimos Joe, Mexico Joe. But seriously, I enjoy, you can see, right? I enjoy working with the people, I enjoy working with you. I have really enjoyed the local hospitality and the food. I don't enjoy the high cost of living or the higher than expected. So that's a question I have received ahead of time. So it's 11:49. I guess I've been speaking for long. I hope I'm surprised you're still awake. So I thought you were going to do that at lunch. Oh, okay. So you want to do that after the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Little change. We were planning to ask a school head to introduce their new faculty staff during lunch, but the caterer is a little bit late, so we're going to do that here. But before doing that introduction, I'll be happy to entertain any question you have here on spot. Just to know, no question is a bad question, so feel free to ask, okay? I initially said, well, why do you need to collect the question that is asked here? I heard it's our tradition that people don't want it to necessarily ask tough questions. Feel free. If you have anything, just stand up, speak loud, so we can all hear you. Any questions? Yeah.
All right, so outside of the fire service, which is my bias because that's where I am, where are we leading the industry? Which seat, department, or school is really charging ahead and pushing us forward?
This may be perceived as a little biased. My tenure home is in mechanical engineering. But if I look at the contribution in semester credit hour and also in research, I would have to see mechanical and aerospace engineering. But all of you are doing great. But if you say relatively which ones are really kind of experience have, I think mechanical aerospace engineers are really doing a lot. With the 23% of faculty, they contribute 23% of semester credit hour, 49% of the research expenditure. That is a lot. So they also play leadership role in many other things. You alluded to fire. Not in terms of money, but rather in terms of prominence. I think our fire, so if you look at mechanical, I think it's in the top 40-some percent. You look at our fire programs, we are probably among the top, I don't know. If internationally if you travel, you name 5 institutions, our fire probably will show up. So that really carries our reputation. That means a lot. So we have many other great programs, units that are doing well. So those two are probably the one that stand out. But also, I have to confess, over the 4 months, I've been trying to work around a little bit to learn more. I have managed to meet several individually, but I haven't learned enough. So if I missed any, don't shoot me. Okay, anyone else? No, I didn't realize our CEAT faculty staff are shy. I know you're nice, but I don't know. Okay, if you don't ask any other questions, I'm going to ask the school heads. Let's say we start from architecture.
I'm going to step out here. So the School of Architecture, we're really happy to welcome 2 new faculty members. These are both coming in as tenure track faculty members in the assistant professor role. So the first is Michael Frush. Michael. Oh.
Okay. Michael was here, but there was not a seat, so I think he's like in a satellite location.
Okay.
So everyone knows.
Hi, Michael, if you're on camera. Yeah. So Michael joins us from Atlanta, Georgia. He's a registered architect who has practiced in the offices of PVS and also Gravity Works, which he's a founding member of that firm. He also has taught over the last several years at Kennesaw State University in their design program. And he tells us that he's into good coffee, live music, and being outdoors, which being from Atlanta, he can acclimate immediately to our heat and our humidity. So we're glad to have him. We also have James McCone. Is James here? There he is. Suddenly my favorite new faculty member. James joins us from the other side of the country, from Los Angeles, California. He is also a registered architect, and he's practiced in several offices, including Curtis and Ginsburg, Patterns, and the Doug Aiken Workshop. He has also taught as an adjunct or basically instructor role at both Santa Monica Community College and SciArc, which is a Southern California Institute of Architecture, a highly rated program in the architecture field. His research focuses on design communication and digital cultures and how these shape our understandings of architecture. So we're really excited to have these 2 professors coming in with both teaching and professional practice experience. So thank you and welcome.
Hi, I'm Heather Follenkamp. I'm the school head for chemical engineering. So it's my pleasure to introduce our outstanding staff and new faculty member we have joining us this year. And so over here, I'll start with our new staff wearing their brightest orange and looking very nice today. Natalie Henderson. Just in June, and she's helping doing our student support specialist and some marketing and things for our department, so we appreciate her. And then right next to her is Pamela Fortney. And she joins us as our accountant, and she joined in April. So both have just been here a few months, but they've already connected really well and feel like they've been here a lot already and has done a lot since they've been here, so we appreciate them. Then we have 1 new faculty member that joins us, just showed up today, and so John, I grabbed his hand to make sure he found his way and brought him down in the front to have his seat, Dr. Praveen Maduri. He's had a lot of experience before getting here already. So after his PhD, he had a couple postdocs, worked for a national lab, and then he went back to his home country in India and helped start up a brand new chemical engineering program at one of their new ITTs, and actually rose through the ranks and did a lot of teaching and research, was very successful, wanted to come back to the US, and so came back and joined an energy research company where he's worked the last couple of years. And so he's joining us in the energy area, works in energy conversion and storage. So we're super excited to have him here.
So Norb Balot from Civil and Environmental Engineering. We have one new faculty joining us, Dr. Gabriel Perez. Stand up, please. All right. He received his bachelor's in civil engineering, his master's in water resources engineering from the National University of Colombia in Medellin. He received his PhD in hydraulics and water resources from the University of Iowa. Following that, he was a postdoctoral researcher at Vanderbilt University, and immediately prior to this, he worked as a postdoctoral researcher at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory and Climate Change Science Institute. And so his expertise, he's in hydroclimate extremes, process-based modeling of hydrologic processes, extreme event statistics, hydrogeomorphological analysis, and flood risk management. So on which you'll be teaching me what all that means. High performance computing and impact assessment, and so he's here joining us to do some really great work in the area of water resources in Oklahoma, which we know is a really big.
I'm going alphabetically.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cholo Yan, intern head of engineering technology. As you know, I'm still new. This is the second year. I didn't know the dress code, so I wear like a jeans. So I'm sorry. We have 4 new faculty members and 2 staff members. The first one will be Dr. Riching Shen. For fire protection and safety engineering technology. He is our graduate. He got a bachelor's degree from our program and got PhD from Texas A&M. You know, for the fire programs of firefighters, water is very important, right? Yeah. He doesn't like water. Especially he doesn't like the sea water. The only water he likes is still water. That's why we were happy to have him back. I hope he continue on his great research and be tenured and stay here. So great. Thank you, Dr. Shen. Welcome. Next one is Dr. Yap-Feng Wang. He's right here. He's probably overflow. Yeah, he is a new faculty member for mechatronics and robotics. He has a lot of experience in robotic controls and then human-robot interaction, artificial intelligence. And I think he'll be a great addition to our program. So we are really happy to have him. But the only concern we have is that he really looks like the current faculty member, Dr. Tao. So it is very confusing to which one is Dr. Tao, which is Dr. Wang. So don't be confused. Next one is Dr. Jahan Bayat. He's still department stuff. Oh yeah. So he usually doing something. Even if he is a new faculty member for our program, he has a lot of experience in research and teaching. So we just stole him from Purdue University. So he will be a great addition to our program in terms of teaching our students and then also doing some research. The next one is Mr. Muhammad Jujuli. He's a new faculty member for fire protection and safety engineering technology. He has a lot of experience safety management. So he will be a good addition to our program too. Welcome, Mr. Jujuli. Next one is Mrs. Danesha Hapo. Is she here? As you can see, she's a kind of a happy virus or vitamin C before dividend. She has magical skills to make everyone happy. So if you are stressed by research or some bad behaving students, please come to the principal or help with her. And she wouldn't mind sharing 1 cup of coffee with you. She has 6 or 7 cups of coffee for her. You wouldn't mind sharing it, right? Okay. The last one, but not the least, is Mr. Kyle Robinson. Is he here? Okay. He has a lot of experience in the energy management. He has several companies that he works for, oil and gas, and then pharmaceutical industry. He has a lot of experience, especially for the Six Sigma. So he will be serving as the manager for the Great Training Center of Excellence. So she has been doing a great job in terms of securing funding and educating, training industry workers and students. So that's all we have. Thank you.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is William Finn. I'm the interim head of the ECE, and so I'm very excited to introduce our 3 new faculty members we recruited this year. And actually quite interesting, it's like the first one, Dr. Saeed Jahanger. Are you here? Okay, so it's a shame. So anyway, it's kind of interesting story about him. It's like he's my first candidate I interviewed, and like I was appointed interim head, and on February 6th, like the Thursday, and the Friday I'm on the job and interviewed the first candidate. And Saeed was a really top candidate in the group, and we gave him the offer. And actually, he came from OU, and he worked in the government for 1 year, and we recruited here. He received the Dissertation Excellence Award, and so it was a very prestigious in engineering college, OU. And I said, it's great, we got a good student here, but we're going to make a great Cowboys. Okay, anyway, we got another 2 candidates coming here, and we have Dr. Ritam Das, and please stand. Where he spent 2 years as postdoc and graduated from the North Dakota State, and also worked in South Alabama for a couple of years as adjunct faculty, had teaching experience, and so has a very rich academic experience working in different institutions. We're very happy to have him. And his research area is in the neuromorphic computing, and this very new kind of emerging technology for VLSI design, and try to mimic human brain to design this, the IC circuit. So it's a really very exciting research field, and it really fueled our CPE AF program, computer engineering program, very well. And that program has been understaffed for a long time, and we have 40% of the student population in that area. But guess how many faculty members supporting the program? 2. Dr. Jim Stein, Dr. Wei Hua Sheng, and thank you for the past service. Here, right? Dr. Doug will be leading the VLSI research in that area. Will be a big boost to our program. And last but not least, Dr. Shahabuddin. He's the 3rd faculty we filled in the position. This year we had great success. We filled all positions without waste, and we have a few more positions coming up. So Dr. Shah, he got his PhD from University of Oulu, Finland, in 2019. And then he spent a few years in industry, Nokia, and also being a teaching faculty at UT Arlington. So has very rich teaching experience, industry background. We're very happy to recruit him here. And both Dr. Das and Dr. Shahabuddin, they are the 2 new faculty members to boost our CPE area, because Dr. Shah, by brief, I'll call him Shah, and his research on digital VLSI design is also a very core area in CPE, computer engineering. And actually, his research on 6G really matched very well with these plans, 6G and 6G communication. And so that's kind of big, very nice combination between DSP, wireless communication, and also computer engineering. Very excited to have him joining us. By the way, little story. The three of them, and one of them not here today, and they started to build a small community there already. So they started bringing some proposals to me and for consideration. And one's very, very interesting proposal, very expensive one, is trying to buy a nice coffee machine. They want to start a kind of coffee club in our department. And actually, that's the kind of proposal I give to John, and he's working on a policy, trying to make that happen. It's possible because it seems our new dean, our new leadership really trying to build a good community in the college. I think this coffee machine might be a good investment for the community. Shouting brought this proposal to me, and I sent to the dean and the dean's office. Let them consider that, and hopefully they will give us good news back. Okay, that's all. Thank you all. Thank you.
Engineer extension.
We changed the sequence just a little, and I'm glad I'm not the last one between you and lunch. So I've got, and I've actually, because of the scope of extension, I have 20 some. So if you'll stand, please, and if you just hold your applause till we get them all read, that would be terrific. Ian Atkinson, Riley Grossnickel, Vanessa Grossnickel, Kimberly McSparran, Ryan Zerman, Ryan Kramer, Timothy Briskowski, Lisa Hornbeck, CJ Hubbard, Ashley Linehan, Josiah Mintz, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. I like that. No, you really didn't, but it's okay. Jamie Mills, Clint Phillips, David Prentice, Kim Smith, Brandon Beerling, Lauren Wiley, Zach Burdick, Jessica Howard, John Vietta, Lori Howes, and Justin Whitefield. Welcome to OSU.
I'm the school head of industrial engineering and management. Last year, I had to stand here to introduce myself. I'm glad I'm not introducing myself. But it has been a wonderful year. I'm here to introduce our staff member. Is Allison McLeavy in the room? She was here earlier. Anyway, she joined us in November and has been tremendous in terms of helping us with purchasing, travel, and she came from UK and came with her husband about 5 years ago. So welcome, Allison, and please say hi to her when you get a chance.
I'm Jim Snee. I'm head of that department over in Tulsa, the Material Science and Engineering Department. We're pretty small, but we coexist alongside Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering in the Helmrich Research Center, and we've recently added a few new entities to the Helmrich Research Center, not the least of which is Launchpad. And so our staff in MSc takes care of all of the employment paperwork. And so our newest hire, my administrative associate, Debbie Patak, is back in Tulsa filling out EPAP forms today, so she sends her regards. But we were also lucky to hire two new staff members, Ihsan Salam, who's our accounting specialist. I believe he's here somewhere. There he is in the back. Ihsan's a fairly new resident to Oklahoma. I think you've been here about 2 years, right? Came from Wyoming, and so welcome. And Bethany Washburn was our other new hire. She's the administrative associate for our Associate Dean Raman Singh in his role as EPSCoR director and dean. So welcome to Bethany.
Hello, I'm Sandeep Harimkar, School Head of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. This was a very successful year for us in terms of hiring. We have two new assistant professors. One, Dr. Kevin Lee. Kevin, are you here? Okay. Mr. Kevin Lee. He's coming from University of Hartford. He has a lot of experience building aerospace program here. He will be on a Tulsa campus. I have hired probably 5 or 6 faculty over the last 3 years. I haven't seen the negotiator like Kevin in terms of the startup. You know? So Kevin, he earned his PhD from UC Davis. Welcome, Kevin. We also have Hemant Manjunath joining us as an assistant professor on Stillwater campus. He's coming from Georgia Tech. He earned his PhD from University of Buffalo. He works in the areas of human-robot interactions and those kind of things, human factors to some extent. So welcome, Hemant. I'm also excited about the 3 new research assistant professors we are adding into AME. Dr. Paul Elliott. Paul, are you here? He's coming from, he earned his PhD from University of Connecticut. He works in the materials and manufacturing area. We also have Alisa. Alisa, are you here? She's she has not been with EMA for a very long time, but she's starting a new position as a research assistant professor here. Then we have Gus Azevedo here. So welcome all. We also have new staff in EMA. Darlene Croce is starting as a EMA new admin associate. Ayana Johnson is joining us as a senior accounting specialist. And then M. Cunningham. M, are you here? She's an admin support specialist. We also have a R&D engineer added in the MLE, working with one of our faculty, Emily. Amon, are you here, Emily? Okay, that was a long list of thank you very much. Welcome all.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So Carissa Raming, I'm the Associate Dean of Academic Programs and Student Engagement. And we added 4 staff members to our team this year, so I'm really excited to introduce them to you. We're going to start with Elizabeth Smith. She's our Study Abroad Coordinator. We'll be asking for proposals from you if you have trips that you want to propose, you want to keep in mind. She's got us on a nice timeline now, so it's not last minute as we've been used to. So please reach out to Elizabeth if you have some of those ideas. She's also been instrumental in our Southwest Jiaotong students that have been here and helping with that program. So we're very thankful to have her. I know that Leo is not here. He's actually in Texas, so we have Leo Benuelos, and he's our new recruiting coordinator out of our Texas, heading those efforts in Texas where we had one before, but we're really trying to ramp that back up. So we're very thankful to have him as well. And also one of our new recruitment coordinators is Samari. Samari, are you here? Yes. We're very thankful to have her as well. We have a full recruitment team now, so that's very exciting. You saw the numbers in the 6G, so we are very thankful to have a full team. I know Brenda is as well. So welcome. And then Kristen Queen. She had to leave. Okay, so Kristen is not new to OSU. She's been advising for many years, but new to CEAT. So we are also very thankful to have her on our advisory team. So thank you.
I'm not going to keep this from lunch.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Chuck Bunting, Associate Dean of Research. I want to introduce Mason Bennett. Mason, are you still here? Awesome. Mason joined our team in February as a sponsored program specialist, primarily working on proposals. Mason earned her bachelor's degree here at OSU, obtaining a degree in biochemistry with 2 minors, one in marketing and another in chemistry. She came with some experience in research, having worked as an undergraduate research assistant. And as a fun fact, Mason's a runner, and she's completed 5 half marathons. So Mason has hit the ground running with our team and has already submitted 50 proposals. She's quickly earned the confidence of faculty, and we're super excited to have her as part of our team. Thank you for joining us, Mason.
Somebody's got to be the plug. So I've got 4 new faculty, 4 new staff in the Dean's office. These people are immensely talented. I've had the opportunity to work with them and give them kind of a random thought and just magic comes out. So, I mean, they are supremely talented. Brandy DeVoe?
Working with catering.
Oh, okay, working the table. Andy Buford? Tanner?
Also with catering.
And Savannah McDaniel.
Also.
Bethany already got introduced. Bethany, will you stand up again? Okay. So, she's not to OSU. She's not new to Oklahoma. But she is fairly new to dealing with the complexity that's my office. And she has adapted wonderfully. I am on speed dial as far as speed text, as far as she's concerned. And it's a pleasure to have her at the HRC. Thank you.
Between your lunch and now, you have your money person, Jean.
I'm just going to stand here so I don't have to get in and out. Our staff, we have, I'm not sure if our part-timers are in here, but as you know, we've had a couple of retirements in our financial areas. We have Joey Ailey and Laura Brown. They have graciously come back and helped get us through some times that we have had to have additional people in our offices. I'm not sure if they're in here. Sage Space is also new in our area, and Saeed is, oh, there they are. We'll start with our HR. Jody Young is new to our last year. Stacy was here last year. Well, look at that. Time goes by so fast.
Okay, anyone else that's new, but we haven't introduced you, can you please stand up? Okay, if not, thank you all very, very much for what you have done. Yeah.
Anchan, this is your first faculty staff meeting, so
yes.
Technically you're new too. Welcome to Oklahoma and OSU.
Look, very big thank you to you all for having done such wonderful work for making this college what it is today. So thank you. Enjoy your lunch. I think the lunch should be ready now. Go outside. I think we're going to be here. Enjoy.